Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to take a look at this Stridsfordon 9040-56. I'm calling it 9040. I don't know if it's meant to be 9040 or if there's another way of saying it, but for this video I'm going to call it the 56. So for those of you short on time, here is my very quick overview. And I'm going to answer the question, is this thing worth getting? Right, this is an Era 3 premium light tank, and its base price in the store right now is 15,500 gold, which, if my calculations are correct, is roughly £51. I'm going to guess that's $65? I'm not actually sure. But the question is this thing worth £51? Is it worth you guys getting it? Well, the short answer to that question is no. Does that mean this is a bad tank? No, it doesn't. It just means that there's another tank in this era of the same class that's a premium that is just better. And what tank is that, I hear you ask? Well, that is the Alvis Stormer. The Alvis Stormer is basically better in every single way. And we will get into exactly why right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to compare the 56 here, I'm going to put it side by side with the Alvis Stormer, and we're going to see how the two compare. So, the 56 has 250mm of pen on its standard rounds, each of which will do an average of 50 damage. It has 650mm of pen on its gold ATGMs, and 550mm of pen on its standard ATGMs, which is not very good. This is where the downhill, the sort of slipping off the slope heading downhill, this is where it starts. Both of its ATGMs will do 1,330 damage, which is pretty good. Can't knock the alpha. But let's move on to the Stormer. So the Stormer has 223mm of pen on its standard rounds, each of which will do an average of 40 damage. So the 56 will do 50, the Stormer will do 40. Is that really that big a difference though? At this, when you've got guns that fire this fast, I don't know if that's really that big a difference. The Stormer has 800mm of pen on its standard ATGMs and 1000mm of pen on its gold ATGMs, both of which will do an average of 1,300 damage. And before we round off talking about the gun, I'm just going to add a couple of additional stats here that I don't normally mention, and that's going to be the rate of fire and the clip size. So the 56 can fire 89 rounds a minute and has a clip size of 24. The Stormer has a rate of fire of 113 rounds a minute and has a clip size of 150. So straight away, we haven't looked at anything else to do with these tanks. Straight away, the 56 is outclassed in almost every single way when you compare it to the Alvis Stormer. And when you're in Era 3 and you've got a rapid rate of fire and you want to hunt things like, I don't know, the Weasel, you need a big clip and you need a rapid rate of fire. There's a premium, the Stormer, that already has a bigger clip. It already has a higher rate of fire. And when you're fighting a Weasel, you're not going to hit every shot, so you want as many shots available to you as you can possibly get. And one of the things that lets this thing down is the rate of fire is great, the alpha is great, the pen on the gun is enough, but you just run out of rounds. You run out of rounds and you're left, when a Weasel's coming for you, you are left with your trousers down, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you're incredibly good. You're an incredibly good shot with an ATGM, and you can lead it enough to hit the Weasel. This thing, it's lacking. It is lacking, and all we've covered so far is the gun. So let's take a look at the rest of the tank. The 56 has 3,300 hit points. The Stormer has 3,000, so 300 extra. Yeah, that's an advantage. The unboosted top speed of the 56 is 70 kilometers an hour, while the Stormer comes in at 80 kilometers an hour. And that's both forward and backwards for the Stormer. So not only is the Stormer faster, it's faster in reverse as well. So again, I'm sorry guys, Stormer's just better. That's the fact of it. The 56 has a view range of 600 meters. The Stormer has a view range of 550 meters, which with true vision, not that big a deal, I suppose. And finally, the still concealment of the 56 is 313 meters, while the Stormer is 312. So there you go. The Stormer has lower alpha on its regular rounds, but it's got a bigger clip and a higher rate of fire. The 56 has higher alpha in its ATGMs, but it's lacking in pen massively. Its pen is almost half, I would say, almost half. And even with the gold ATGMs in this thing, you're not even at the same level as the Stormer. 650 mil for gold, and the standard in the Stormer is 800. That's just the fact of it. That's just where we're at. That's what we're dealing with. So yeah, the 56 is lacking. It is severely lacking compared to its competition. And when you're in Era 3 and you're dealing with tanks like the Weasel, which you saw me trying to deal with in the previous game, your clip runs out. We could take on a Weasel if the clip were bigger, but it is what it is. It's 24 rounds, 89 rounds a minute. You burn through that clip very, very, very quickly, and it's just not enough. It's not enough to take on the competition and the annoyingly frustrating tanks that that we have in Era 3. But like I said at the start, is it a bad tank because of that? No, it's not a bad tank. You can still have amazing games, but the problem with this thing is that it's very expensive. And when we're talking about prices like 15,000 gold, 17,000 gold, you need to make sure that what you're buying is quality. For that price, you need quality. And the Stormer's just better. That is, again, just the fact of it. So before we close this one out, let's take a look at the economy stats for the 56. So it's got a 60% silver boost. The Stormer only has a 55% silver boost, so that might sway you a little bit. It's got a 10% tank XP boost, 15% crew XP boost, and a 5% free XP boost, which, you know, 15% crew XP boost, it's not really it's not a crew trainer. The silver at 60%, it's not the top 65% boost that we see on other premiums, but it is better than the Stormer. So, yeah, it's a tank that is not bad, but there is better available. And if you look at the minimap, I'm running the gun rammer on this thing just to improve the reload of the ATGMs and the 40mm. The concealment on this thing, I think it could use some love. I'm not using the camo net, so that's part of the reason why it's not as good as it could be. But for a light tank, yeah, it could be better. It really could be better. Again, I've not played it with a camo net. Maybe that will improve it slightly. But I'm coming back to the same old, same old. It's just lacking. Do I think this is worth getting? For the price it's at? No, I don't think it is. Is it a bad tank though? No, it's not a bad tank. If you can afford 15,000 gold and you want something new, get it. Absolutely, get it. But if you're someone who's being careful with their gold, careful with their money, wanting quality, this one's not for you. I wouldn't recommend it. So there you go, guys. That is my honest opinion on the, what's this thing called? The Stridsfordon 904056. There you go. That is my honest take on this tank. Is it a bad tank? No. Is it worth getting? No, sadly not. Let me know what you guys think about this thing. If you've got one, let me know what you think. But that is all I've got for this one, folks. So if you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one.